Hi, it's Cynthia Vannucci again, your instructor, or I should say professor. After all, I do have a PhD. Your professor for hospitality, negotiations, and sales, HTE 4730. The summer class for beginning on May 23rd and ending on June 25th. So I wanted to send you these YouTube videos so that you'd have a sense of your teacher, getting to know your teacher, and also maybe a little bit of clarification when you hear someone talk about a syllabus. So if you'll permit me, I'm going to go ahead and go through my very short, very colorful syllabus now. And it will begin with how to contact me. Obviously via email. You can call me in my office phone. You can call me on my cell phone, or even text me. Just make sure you always put your name and your section number, class and section number, because after all, you're not programmed into my phone. I also want to share with you that my office hours are from Monday through Friday, and I have what they call compressed office hours, so that I travel abroad to teach. As many of you know, I teach in Prague, and so I front load all of my office hours from May 16th through the 20th, May 23rd through the 27th, and again May 31st and June 1st. And I start the office hours at 2 after my Maymester class and end them at 6 in the evening, so I take my last appointment at 5:30 p.m. Class details, well, this is a totally online course. Starts on the 23rd and ends on the 25th of June of 2016. Let's talk a little bit about what the course is. So it's a two-track class, essentially. You'll be learning about the sales and marketing offices of a hotel, their sales techniques, their calls, the types of advertising, public relations, publicity, and the sales effort of hotel sales and marketing professionals throughout the U.S. Then the second class is about developing your skills for negotiation. So we have two distinct tracks going on. And I have two books for you to use. One book is called Conflict Management, and you'll notice it's listed under the textbook section. And this is by an attorney. Her name is Barbara A. Bujak. And I provide, of course, the ISBN number so that you can either order it online, rent it, or borrow it from the library. And then the other book is the 5th edition of the Hospitality Sales and Marketing, and that's by Dr. James Abbey. Both available, should be at the library or for rent. So I like to always give my teaching philosophy. I want you to have a general understanding of how to have success with your pathway of earning a college degree, And they tell me that the story of any good teacher is when the purpose and passion goes beyond the classroom. Well, that's going to be kind of hard because obviously we're online. But it's why I front load so much office hours. So if you have any questions, we get a chance to talk. It's why I put my video online so that you have a comfort level with who your teacher is and what you'll be going through. I'd like to share with you that I actually have three major teaching philosophies. I want the student to think about and control their own educational pathway. I want to make sure that we individualize the student learning process through good advising. So please take advantage of those front-loaded office hours. And I want to serve as your coach. And I want this experience to be positive. I want to grow your confidence and the knowledge in the field. We have six major course objectives. Then, of course, we have some fun with Dilbert about, competition and sales. And then I want to talk about what people like to find out is, well, what's involved with this class? How do I get an A? And, of course, when is it due? And now that, of course, you see my short syllabus, they're so colorful. The idea is so that you can look at them on your phone, so they've been PDF'd. But let's talk about how we assess your learning through this course. One of the best ways for me to learn assessments is taking the quizzes. There are 13 quizzes throughout the semester, which is a short 5 weeks. Each quiz consists of true and false and multiple choice questions and are worth 10 points. The next portion is through case studies, and this is where students will read a case study at the end of each textbook, at the end of each chapter, so within your textbook, and students are required to respond to the questions found in the discussion board via the content link in Blackboard. And then other students are to provide a thoughtful commentary to the original post of the first student. So there are 14 case studies. Each case study post is worth 10 points for a total of 150. I found a movie for you guys, and I'm really excited about this movie because most people have never seen it. Now, it's a little old. I think it was released in 1993 and filmed in 1992. And you watch this movie called The Negotiator. Oh, great title. And what I love about Hollywood is they do a really good job of highlighting all the negotiating tactics. At the conclusion of the movie, the students are to write a 4 to 6 page typed reaction paper to the movie with brief summary and analysis, right? So I give you, there's a PowerPoint listed inside Blackboard under content, and it has approximately, I want to say, memory serves me, 47 distinctly different tactics. Wow. And Hollywood does such a good job of using just about all 47. But all I'm looking for you to note is 9 of them. What are those 9 tactics? So I have a little tally sheet that's a part of the content. And while you're watching the movie, which by the way is pretty riveting with Samuel L. Jackson and Kevin Spacey, and please let me apologize. I didn't bleep out a lot of the bad words, and they tend to use them, but it's a very riveting and exciting movie. Anyway, I want you to be able to note the tactics that are defined and define them in the body of the paper. Describe how the tactics work or didn't work according to the scene in the movie. Additional information pertaining to this assignment is also, like I said, found under the assignment link in Blackboard, and also in your syllabus addendum you'll find the grading rubric. So you'll probably want to review the what I call the grading rubric, or some teachers refer to it as a grading criteria sheet, so that you can determine how this paper is to be written before you watch the movie. So you could watch the movie twice if you want. I've had some folks tell me they've watched it with their family. Like I said, I was a little embarrassed by the bad words, but it was also a very interesting movie. So this particular assignment is worth 100 points. So scrolling back up here, the next portion, that has to do with the track of negotiations. Back to the first track of the hotel sales track, I want you to set up an interview with a hotel/catering salesperson. Once again, I'm looking for a 3 to 4 page paper, and these are the 6 questions that you actually will be talking to with your salesperson. How did the salesperson qualify their prospects? How do they prepare for their sales call or presentation? These are the questions that you're asking of that salesperson. How does the salesperson, what do they do to improve their sales production? Because, you know, not all customers know their lines and say yes immediately. How do they determine their high sale priority goals? And what tactics do they use to save time? Your portion of what is your overall impression of the interview, the office, the collateral material, and the professionalism of the salesperson you interviewed. Students will post under the appropriate discussion thread the name of the person they will interview, so you need to let me know, and there is actually a target date on the agenda. Naturally, there's 2 books here, so it moves rather quickly. I'm asking you to be able to read your textbook so that you can respond to the discussion questions properly. Let's scroll down. What so many students like to know is, how do they get an A? Well, in this class, an A is worth 570 points. I'm on a 10% spread, so it's between 513 and 570 points for an A, and so it goes on down the line. You'll notice that in the HTE department, we don't have pluses or minuses. We as a department decided not to make those available. So over here in the turquoise and kind of lime green color, we have your quizzes, which are worth 130 points, and that's 23% of your grade, and it affects the learning objectives 1 through 6. Then I have your case study discussions, which utilize both books. That's worth a total of 140 points, or 25% of your grade. and at learning objectives 1, 3, and 5. Our negotiator movie, the negotiator or movie reaction paper, is worth 100 points, which represents 17% of your grade and affects learning objectives 1 through 5. This meeting with a hotel sales and catering person for your hotel sales catering company interview is worth the most amount because your time is so valuable and the time of others are so valuable. I have weighted it strongly at 35%, and that affects objectives, learning objectives 1 through 5, and that would bring us, of course, to the total of 570 points. There is the issue of academic dishonesty. I've given you a link. I'm currently doing research on academic integrity, and I can tell you that one of the primary reasons that people end up cheating or plagiarizing is because they just run out of time. Please know that this class is only 5 weeks long, and you don't have a lot of time to get a lot of things done, which is why I shouldn't say a lot of things done. It doesn't appear like you have a lot of time. But if you do things in the appropriate schedule that I've listed it, you will have no trouble keeping up. If you do have issues or questions about academic dishonesty, the link is noted here. If you are a student with disabilities, your link is also noted, and you need to notify me in advance about any special requirements you may have. Administrative policies are available with their links, and they're more in-depth in my syllabus addendum, which can be found in the separate Word document in the Blackboard platform. It's listed with the syllabus. It's also listed with addendum. All right, let's go down to that schedule. We're on a Wednesday-Sunday rotation. Things are due Wednesday night or Sunday night at 1 minute before midnight, or also lovingly referred to as 11:59 p.m. We start on a Monday. You have your course introduction. This YouTube has already been, you might have already reviewed the YouTube video, but if you haven't, I would suggest looking at it no later than the 23rd. We have some information that I'd like, your data sheet, your extra credit agreement form. We start right off on that coming Wednesday on May 25th with your reading the Conflict Management book, also known as the CM book, or the Hospitality Sales book, also known as the HS book, or just listed as Sales. Please notice you have your first quizzes and your first discussion boards. I'm also looking to have you keep thinking about who it is that you would like to interview. So and then we have on the week 2, starting on the 29th, which is our Sunday, again, reading in your conflict management book, reading in your sales, taking quiz 3, and don't forget to post your discussion board answers and responses. Here we go. We're going to learn a little bit about, coming up in Module 3, we're going to be learning a little bit about hospitality sales, telephone sales. Don't hang up on those people when they call. Well, if you do like I do, mostly I just tell them what they're not doing right when they call my house. So I'd like you to submit your name by the 1st of June of the hotel sales catering representative. You'll also want to take a look at the movie reaction paper. I'm going to try and load that up on YouTube for you to understand what I'm looking for when you write that paper. All right, we continue to go down with Module 4. We're in Week 3. We're now into Chapter 7. And once again, we've got those 2 books, Conflict Management and Sales, both tracks happening. Now, some of you know I am going to be leaving the country by June the 3rd, so I have hired a representative, another teacher, just to take a look at those classes and emails while I'm in transit over the Atlantic Ocean, or as some might say, traveling over the pond. But nothing will be changing in your schedule. Everything remains the same. Please note that I have provided a makeup week for all modules. The only thing you're really making up are your quizzes. Your discussion questions may also be made up in this class, but the papers, everything has to be due when they're due, or I won't get them graded in time. There I am, leaving for Prague. So I look forward to hearing from you via email. Hope to see some of you in my office hours during the early portion of the semester. Take care See you soon. Bye now.